Afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Kev from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And it's Monday. Yeah, just another Mighty Monday. And of course, with that comes a lot of nonsense. That's right, a lot of nonsense. So, I mentioned to any of you all that watched my live stream yesterday that this week I'm going to be working 12-hour shifts. So I just got off about an hour ago. And I said, you know what? If I don't do the show right now, I ain't going to do the show at all. So first things first, let me make sure that I got a notification. There we go. Okay, yeah. Little notification popped up. All right. And hopefully everybody else is getting one too. But we don't know. That's why you got to set your notifications to all. And at least you have a better shot at getting a notification. Now let me turn my notifications off. Totally forgot to do that. I'm back. There you go. Had to turn my notifications off because, yeah, my phone would be ringing and mess like that and beeping and distracting me. I got the Wi-Fi. On. You know, I was rushing to try to put together these clips real quick so I can cover them and, of course, have some time to get some sleep so I can run it right back. Go right back and do it all again. You believe that? Make me mad, y'all. Anyway, but it is what it is. And so, therefore, I have no time for an intro or any of that stuff. Because, see, I'm about to get straight into it. But don't forget, hit the like button, share my videos, follow me on all the other social media platforms. If you want to support the channel, you can do it through my Cash App and my PayPal link or through the Super Chat. And, oh, and if you haven't watched my little short 30-second parody about Sydney Sweeney, please check it out because it's being suppressed. All right. So with that being said, I ain't gonna waste no time. Let's get into it, man. These dirty, and I mean dirty Dems, we're about to go through a list of dirty ones, real dirty ones, and what they're trying to pull off. Okay. And then, of course, some of the results based on their, dastardly deeds. Some of the results that's coming back to haunt them. Let's see.
Fake, disgusting news.
We talked at the top of the show about Donald Trump's efforts to erase reality. And this week, he's doing it with history, at least certain types of history. The administration bringing back 2 Confederate statues, including the only one in D.C. honoring a Confederate leader. It was...
Now, here's what's crazy. You hear how she hit Donald Trump's efforts to erase reality. That is all the CNN and MSNBC and all of them do. The Democrats, they create false realities for people to walk around believing. That's why you got folks, what is it? It's not Stephen Colbert, but Jimmy Fallon or whatever. No, Jimmy, whatever his name. Talking about it's much worse than what we thought. And I'm going, are you kidding me? Rosie O'Donnell is living in a false reality. So many of these libs are living in a false reality. They think that the United States then came to, a crash and we're now living in a totalitarian society. And I'm going, that is a complete false reality. So here she is. We often talk about how Donald Trump tries to erase reality. No. Why do you think all of us voted for him? Because we know the real reality. The real reality is he's not a criminal. The real reality is that he shouldn't have been impeached not once. Those are the facts. The real reality is that he did not encourage or launch an insurrection. So, with that being said, why would he want that to be in the history of his presidency when we all know that these were lies and conspiracies and all of that stuff? So here she is trying to protect the false reality that they created about Trump. And she's talking about Trump trying to live in a false reality. And then, of course, he's putting statues back up. Now, she said the only Confederate person in the statue in D.C. Now, I'm thinking, wasn't the Confederates Democrats? I mean, I'm just wondering. I mean, I'm pretty sure that those were their heroes. But now all of a sudden they want to erase their past. Now, isn't that odd? The whole history of the racist, Jim Crow, Ku Klux Klan Democrats, but yet at the same time, they try to erase all that mess. They don't want to own that part of the Democrat Party. So they encourage all of their stupid supporters to go out and destroy the evidence. How you like that? Go out there and tear down all the evidence that points right back to the Democrats, okay? That's what we need y'all to do. And blame it on racism.
Was toppled by protesters in 2020. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is also returning a statue depicting a woman as Mamie that critics say whitewashes slavery.
We recognize our history. We don't erase it, Will.
Yeah. See, because we learned from it. We understand that these were all characters to play the part. There were some evil characters in history, you know, Attila the Hun. People still talk about him, you know, and what he did, what he accomplished, Hannibal. All of these characters throughout history. Many of them don't have a great rap, but you don't erase them. Yeah, you talk about it. They were a character in history. You point out the negatives. You point out whatever positives, if there are any, and that's it. But you don't have to also go out and say, you know what, I'm going to live my life after this person who had a lot of nasty skeletons in their closet. No, you don't have to do that. If anything, you could point to those people and say, this is what not to do, everyone. As much as they talk about Adolf Hitler, you know, I mean, you got to kid me. They bring this dude up all the time. They keep his name in rotation. Now, you would think they would stop talking about him, comparing people to him, but not them. If they could use somebody in history for their own propaganda, they will. See, but besides that, don't mention this person, erase these people, tear down their statues and stuff like that.
We don't follow the woke lemmings off the cliff that want to tear down statues. We're not tearing stuff down. We're done with that. We're putting statues back. We're putting paintings back. We're recognizing our history. We're restoring the names of bases as we've done across the country because we're proud of our history.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
So let's talk.
See, for a while, we lost our minds in America. We all lived it. As they sit back and still lie to us to this day, crime is down. You know what? The right is the most radical, the violent. And I'm going, are you kidding me? We watched you guys burn flags, tear down statues, destroy property, beat people. We watched all of that as y'all excused all of that mess. And yet y'all talking about those statues deserve to be torn down because those were people who represented racism and stuff like that. I'm like, it's not your right. It is not your right. Liberals think they have the moral high ground to do whatever they want to do, and then they'll mess around and find out the wrong way. She's riding past somebody's crib. Oh, there's a MAGA sign in there. I love those videos where they go up in there thinking they got the right, the moral high ground, to rip somebody's sign out or to run their sign over, and they end up getting jacked up. Hilarious. Show them a lesson. So here we go. Watch this fool on CNN say something dumb.
Talk through this a little bit because, again, history here seems to be subjective and in the eye of the beholder, right?
History for thee, but not for me, but
What
not.
are you talking about? History, subjective in the eye of either this character existed in history or he didn't. I mean, these characters that they tore down, Trump and them aren't saying these were great men, they did wonderful things, they were flawless. No, the fact is this is government property or city property or whatever, and radicals don't have the right to go in there and just decide without voting and going through a process that, you know, we just gonna tear this mess down. And that's the mentality of the whole left. It's always, we don't need consent, we're gonna tear it down. When you randomly catch one of them out protesting and you ask them, what's your goal here? To tear it all down, to burn it all down. That's the style. So they operate like that. They're not trying to go to city council and petition and get signatures and stuff. No, that's not the style. Let's create an angry mob and then go ahead and start tearing stuff down and intimidate folks when they want to say, look, man, I know you all might not like that character, but it's a part of our history. Leave it be. Or you must be a racist.
For thee kind of thing. I mean, Hegseth, I can't even go into that. He should get himself a drink or something. But what?
She's a nasty woman.
She sure is. Nasty on the inside and the outside. You see her? So, yeah.
She's a really nasty woman.
It's hard to make the case that you're not trying to erase history when we see the images of them being toppled, you know, by
That's
protesters.
people.
Right? I would
That's
say if
people.
you want to remove
There you go. Yeah, but y'all, we're not trying to erase history. We're trying to rewrite it. That's all we're trying to do. So there you have it. This lady brings a rational statement and says, look, man, with your Fonzarelli jacket on, you see this chick up here trying to look like the Fonz? Hey, you can't be the Fonz. There's only one Fonz. There's only one Arthur Davis. Hit the jukebox and make it play. So here she is with her Arthur Davis jacket on and her Fonzarelli hairstyle, talking about the P has that.
Statues, which not every monument needs to say where it is forever.
And they don't.
We can all agree that.
They don't.
But let's remove, if they need to be removed, let's do it in a very orderly manner. Let's do it by like a vote.
I don't
Let's
want to
have
remove them at all.
Or
By the way, that statue that they're putting back up is going to be toppled again.
Oh, you hear that? Now you see, it leaks out. As they always sweeping down, they're not violent. There were civil ones on the left, and it's always the right. You don't see us tearing down statues, defaming property, getting mad because we see somebody with some rainbow flags in their yard, and we just go up in there and just rip it down because we got the right to do it. Yeah, and blaming it on, well, you know what? Morality. Yeah, instead of racism, morality. We don't believe in transgender kids, so we're going to go ahead and attack the transgender on the bus and beat him up and say, you know what? He brought it on himself for morality. So these people operate like that. Whenever they don't like something, they throw a tantrum like kids. And we can't function as a society when they behave like that. So how about you convince the majority of people to get rid of a statue or not? But that's not their style. See? So let's continue. Because they're revealing it in this segment that that's not their style. They don't even know it. Hey, she's sitting there talking about, and the next one going to be torn down too. Almost like she's excited to see it happen.
He's a Freemason. He's a big Freemason.
I love watching those statues get toppled.
I love it.
I don't even.
There it is. There it is. Now the biggest dodo bird on the set. I love watching those statues get toppled.
Oh, well, we need to pretend like there needed to be some orderly way to do it. That was the bomb. It was.
That's orderly. You see that? Dirty Dems.
This happened early Saturday morning in the Judiciary Square neighborhood of D.C. The statue of Confederate Army General Albert Pike was the only Confederate statue in the district.
Protesters marched through Portland last night, pulling down statues of Abe Lincoln and Teddy Roosevelt.
Wait a minute. What was wrong with Abe Lincoln? See, Trump was right. Trump was right about everything. And if you think about it, I really was. Yeah, after a while, they're going to be going back to Abe Lincoln. Who knows? Anybody that they could say that was a white colonizer, that's a part of our history, they would go and tear it down. But this guy's talking about, I love watching that. So basically, you enjoy encouraging chaos, mob rules, anarchy. That's what you enjoy. See, it always leaks out. The left and Democrats can't suppress it. It keeps coming up. But as the more they talk, the more they reveal that we are hypocrites, and we're evil, and we are anarchists, and we're the true fascists. So now here he is. He love it, y'all.
They called the event Indigenous Peoples' Day of Rage to counter Columbus Day.
I love watching those statues get toppled.
I love it.
I don't even know why we need to pretend like there needed to be some orderly way to do it. That was the bomb.
That was the bomb. So it's always the bomb until all of these radical folks that y'all have emboldened to operate that way turns on you. See, that's the problem with the angry mob. When you go ahead and create a whole bunch of minions to do the dirty work for your Marxist conflict theory, you can't control the pit bulls after a while. You know how many folks had their pit bulls turn on them? It was cute when they was holding the chain and the dog was barking at everybody else. Yeah, no, don't do it, dog. Don't do it. Come on now. Easy, boy, easy. Until you come home one day and he look like he smiling at you, but he ain't. Why you looking that way, boy? I fed you, didn't I? Yeah, but you didn't feed me none of you. I think that's what I want on the menu. And it ain't funny then. So all of these folks who swarping out, that's the way to handle things. Well, if that's the way to handle things, how about all of our society just start operating like that? Yeah, I don't like you not having no bass in your voice, so let me rip your vocal box out. How you like that? Man, you need more bass in your voice, man. Give me that vocal box. And you assaulted me. You assaulted me with that helium voice of yours. Let's continue. I know, Alex. I know.
My question in this real time is, who asked for this? Who are the people that were just clamoring for putting back up Confederate statues? Who wanted to change the name back to Fort Bragg? Who really cares that much outside of Stephen Miller?
I do. Okay? And I'm going to tell you why. It's the principle, man. Certain things, it's just the principle. Woke culture, cancel culture, and angry mob culture has to be done away with. Restore order. Show them that we're not going to allow you guys to win and tear stuff down. And then years from now, that's right, we're the ones that destroyed all. Nope. Build it right back up like the ants. Like the ants. You know my ant story. Build it right back up like the ants. But now we got new leadership, and there's going to be more punishment if these folks start doing that. It ain't going to be funny and cute no more. It ain't going to be one of those out there we wore our mask and stuff like that. Good job, Antifa. Good job. Our next meeting. No, it ain't going to be that. It's going to be some arrest. So this guy, I mean, who wants that?
A lot of things have been said here that are true. I think there are people who want them back.
I would agree.
I'm saying to the point where you.
Now, I'm sure the only reason these people want those things back is because they want to bring back white supremacy.
Care enough about it to actually be done. There are people. How many people are we really talking about?
I got some.
I think there's more maybe than we think. Now, if that's like what they wake up every morning thinking about, no. But on the top 20, perhaps. You know, I'm just saying, like, I gotta, as someone who grew up with the Klan rally every year in their hometown,
Someone who grew up with the Klan member. Now, see, notice she timed that to, see, I had to do it with racism. Anybody who want those statues back, got to be a part of the Klan. Now, here she is, a person who grew up with the Klan meetings in there. Are they still there? Are they still there? Well, did they have big numbers back then? I grew up in Cincinnati. Well, I didn't grow up in Cincinnati, but when I moved to Cincinnati, every year they would have a Klan meeting. Every year. Okay? Those Democrats would get together and they would put those white sheets on and go down there on the square and start talking about white power. But guess what we all did? Ignored them. And it was about 7 of them, about 8 of them. But if you listen to these people, they're in full effect. And all of these Americans who are sick and tired of the way these folks operate in society, like their opinion is the only one that matter. Yeah, all of those people were most likely Klan members. We're all racist. We're all white supremacists. So I'm sure the overwhelming amount of people who might want that. My point by saying that is to emphasize how many racists there are in America. You see how she tried to slide that in? And of course, the dummy.
I got some people here who are like frustrated by it.
Unbelievable. And that is why CNN's viewership hits historic lows in July 2025. Disastrously bad. Oh yeah. Former CNN staff says that. Wonderful. I mean, that is some of the best news ever. That's some of the best news ever. If something needs to get torn down, it needs to be CNN and MSNBC and all of that stuff. And not by violence. By folks voting, by turning the channel. So let's continue. Yeah, the storm is
What a shocker.
Tell them, Nelson.
Under attack.
Oh. Now you want to talk about the Dirty Dems? This is one of the dirtiest of them all. This guy right here, they got caught on video talking about how we gonna stop Trump. We just ain't gonna certify the election. You know what I'm saying? We just gonna prepare for civil war, baby. We get our security, not for you guys, not for you regular Americans, you stinking regular citizens. You don't get security. You don't get that white supremacist police and stuff out there. We don't not know. Let's get rid of them. But for us, we'll get our security and all of that. This guy right here. So now the poodle on his head is back. So let's hear what the poodle got to say as he's trying to, I guess, talk to a podcast, bro. He's trying to become hip, all right? But of course he reveals he's nothing more than a dirty dem.
Knowledge is under attack. Research is under attack.
Jeez, oh man. See,
Knowledge is
this is the style. Let me try to scare the bejesus out of everybody and create a false reality. Now, y'all ready? Y'all ready? We all know life is better right now. Watch what this guy creates. He said these things are under attack. Now, why is it that we don't see these things as being under attack? But he's going to say them. Like, it's obvious. Here we go.
What a shocker.
Facts are under attack.
Facts.
Knowledge is under attack.
Knowledge.
Research is under attack.
Research. Just anything. Air is under attack. Toothpaste is under attack. So if I'm getting this guy straight, knowledge is under attack. What do you mean knowledge is under attack? The research is under, just anything. You see how reckless they are with their words? And This is their normal style of operating. We don't get out there doing that. I mean, we put up with all their culture wars. And when we say something's under attack, it's the truth. Because we're not going to get out there wasting our time slinging a whole bunch of accusations of this is under attack. It paints you as a victim, emotional, irrational, and not able to live in reality. When we say, hey, look, kids are under attack. Yes, that's true. When we see the books y'all trying to put in the schools and the legislation y'all trying to pass for the kids, women that should have their own spaces and own sports are under attack. These are provable facts. But this guy, knowledge is under attack. How? Research is under attack. How?
The truth is under attack.
The truth.
And free speech is under attack.
Yeah, the truth according to these raggedy, stinking Democrats. And then free speech is under attack. Oh, really?
Back by Donald Trump and by the government.
No, what's really under attack is that hairstyle of yours. That poodle right there is under attack. Somebody got hold to that poodle and ripped its fur out right there. You need to go ahead and do something with that poodle. They ain't gonna talk about that Donald Trump and all of them are attacking everything.
Jamie Raskin, Democrat Congressman of Maryland. TDS diagnosis is stage 7.
Oh, yes.
Terminally ill.
Yeah.
I mean, he literally tries to purge the fact of his 2 impeachments from a museum exhibit.
He literally tried to have 2 impeachments, 2 raggedy, very raggedy impeachments. And that's why he won. That's why he's back in office. See, this is the thing that these fools don't get. As they're still out here throwing these things out there as if we look at these as legit. The only reason it would need to stay in history if it was legit. Because if you really wanted to write it in history like it would be the Democrats colluded and came up with a fake impeachment twice against Donald Trump just to stop him from running and becoming the president again. That's how it should be written in history, but not them. Donald Trump actually was impeached twice because he was guilty of doing stuff that we created and made up. Let's continue, though, listening to this raggedy, shaggy poodle on his head.
Try to purge the words climate change from anywhere in government computers, online, any websites. They're trying to take that down. They're trying to completely rewrite the history of January 6th.
No, we're trying to get that mess out of there because y'all are using climate change to control people. You're using all of these things y'all create to scare folks into complicity. Climate change is not an existential threat. Now, as a Christian, I already know this planet ain't going nowhere until God gets tired of it. There you go. Yeah, we didn't create it and we're not going to be able to destroy it. That's God's choice on his timing. If you think us watching our carbon footprint is going to save this globe, you got another thing coming. When he burn this joint up, I don't care how many of y'all are riding around in battery operated cars and solar things on you. It ain't going to help. Y'all will probably blame that on climate change. God comes back to burn the earth up. This is climate change. This is obvious. It's not the second coming. It's not the judgment. No? Okay. Unbelievable. But let's continue hearing him blame everything on Trump.
Rewrite the history of the 2020 election. Rewrite the history of the Civil War. You know, there are very fine people on both sides when there's an anti-Semitic riot.
Wait a minute. Did this man just say truth and all that stuff was under attack? I think I'm detecting a dirty dem. I'm thinking we got ourselves a dirty dem. I'm thinking we might have caught one, y'all. Set that box up with the stick. Put a little Donald Trump in that box. Maybe a MAGA hat. And watch him go right in there to get it. And gotcha. So now, that dude just lied.
In Charlottesville, it is the progressives who are standing up for history, who are standing up for facts, who are standing up for the truth.
Man, do you know how many lies came out of this man's mouth? It is unreal. That whole rant with this dude was everything about it was a lie. Even down to what this progressives are standing up for truth. They're standing up. So we better go ahead and see what kind of truth he's standing up to.
Did you hear him?
It is the progressives who are standing up for history, who are standing up for facts, who are standing up for the truth.
Yeah. Here it comes.
You know, there are very fine people on both sides when there's an anti-Semitic riot. in Charlottesville.
The fact-checking site Snopes finally debunking Democrats' claims that then-President Trump in 2017 called neo-Nazis and white nationalists, quote, very fine people.
You know, there are very fine people on both sides.
Snopes now labeling that claim false, writing, quote, in a news conference after the rally, Trump did say there were very fine people on both sides, referring to the protesters and the counter-protesters. He said in the same statement he wasn't talking about neo-Nazis and white nationalists.
But yet, this raggedy rat skin with that mangy poodle on his head is coming out saying that in the midst, see, I told you, let them talk long enough, and they will reveal they're the Dirty Dems. See, they got so many false accusations in their head that they want to throw out, they can't organize it. If they don't have time in real time of using propaganda and lies to check it and catch it and go, ooh, somebody's going to use that against me. Somebody's going to say, dude, y'all are so used to throwing out lies about Trump and not being called out on it. Just let it rip. Let it fly. Yeah, keep recycling lies that's been debunked a long time ago. In the midst, though, of you talking about we hold the moral high ground. We're the ones that hold on to truth. As this dude just lied. Just let him talk long enough, and they'll show you hypocrisy.
Who he said should be condemned totally.
Imagine that. Yeah. It is the progressives who are standing up for history, who are standing up for facts, who are standing up for the truth.
We are prepared. Uh-oh. Another Dirty Dem, y'all. I think we might have caught another one. This one's big. This one's a big, fat Godzilla foot having scales on her knock knees, Kanko, Queen Latifah. This is an evil woman. Evil woman. But look, I'm telling you. Little karma's coming back on everybody.
To make sure that the judgment is paid to New Yorkers. And yes, I look at 40 Wall Street each and every day. If he does not have funds to pay off the...
Now you hear that evilness? And yes, I look at 40 every day. Every day. That means she wants evil upon Donald Trump. She is thirsty. She was the whole time like, ooh, I want to bring him down so bad. We all saw her campaigning. We all saw her out there. Yes, if you elect me, I'm going to be a pain in Donald Trump's butt. I'm going to sue him. I'm going to look into his businesses. We all saw that. And I'm sitting here watching this before they stuck her butt in there. And I'm going, is that legal? Can you be running for prosecutor? And yet you're talking about, if you elect me, I'm going to go after a guy y'all all hate. Not because of a crime, but because I hate him too. Y'all all hate him, and ain't nobody going to stop me right about now until, though.
Judgment. Then we will seek, judgment enforcement mechanisms in court. And we will ask the judge to seize his assets.
Seize his assets, y'all. Seize his assets. Now, that wasn't lawfare. That wasn't lawfare because it was Donald Trump. And he's evil and he deserves all that, right? He deserves it all.
You want me to sit in my seat and stand idly by and allow this craziness to happen?
Now, you hear Godzilla making all that noise? Hey, all she's been doing is tearing down New York, just like Godzilla. So here she is, trying to preach to somebody and talking reckless about, man, I ain't scared of Trump.
You can come after me if you want, but you elected me to stand up. You elected me to use the law.
No, the lawfare. You forgot that lawfare. You forgot that part. You elected me to use lawfare, because that's exactly what you used.
You elected me to go to court. You elected me to continue to challenge this administration.
And that burns me up. That burns me up. Look who's in the background. Al Sharpton stands up. Yeah, these Democrats, they get in front of a black audience, a black crowd of Democrats, and what do? They pretend they got a preacher's license. There they go. And God is going to protect me and you. And I'm going, you just can't talk. You just can't say what you want to say. Now you got to go into your preaching thing like that. You're thinking you're going to connect and get the black folks all emotional and riled up. Because that's all you're trying to do.
You elected me to stand up for the least of God's children. You elected me to continue
Look at people in the back.
on. And I will.
Let me just say this to Big Tish James, the New York Attorney General. I dare you. I dare you to try to continue your lawfare against President Trump.
Because it's a brand new day. Ooh, I bet you when Trump won, all of the lawfarers were probably like, oh shoot, what does this mean for us? We the Dirty Dems. We thought this mess was, y'all promised us. If y'all go out there and probably go ahead and bring all these raggedy charges against Trump, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. That'll be enough to change opinions. We'll dirty him up enough to where even folks that can see clearly will still see him dirty. And it didn't work. More they tacked on, more they piled on, more charges. We all were going, see, that's what I'm talking about. And so now the ties have changed.
In his second term, because listen here, sweetheart, we're not messing around this time. And we will put your fat ass in prison for conspiracy against rights. And
you hear that, Toots? Do you hear that, Bigfoot? So now, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I promise you that. So think long and hard before you want to violate President Trump's constitutional rights or any other American's constitutional rights. It's not going to happen again.
That's a breaking news coming into the Situation Room right now. The U.S. Justice Department is opening an investigation into the New York Attorney General.
There's Godzilla. Oh, there's Big Kinkles cracking the concrete as she's coming out of that building. Yeah, trying to act confident, y'all, like she ain't scared. I ain't worried. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Now, it is funny that the tides have changed. You got to be concerned. Because, see, the difference is you know you're guilty. That's the difference. Yeah, that grand jury right here, that they're going to be able to produce a whole heap of stuff. They had to concoction a raggedy behind case to go after Trump. She's guilty.
General Letitia James's office. This comes as part of a criminal investigation into James, who previously prosecuted Trump. Let's go live right now to our correspondent, Bryn Gingras in New York.
Dirty Dems.
What are you learning, Bryn?
Yeah, well, so we're getting this information. Our Karis Canal confirming that there are now 2 grand jury subpoenas issued by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of New York, looking to get information about James's office, basically trying to see if there was any criminality by her office when she filed that civil lawsuit against the Trump organization.
Yep, and I'm probably thinking, if you dig deep enough, you'll find the communications between her and Judge Argaron or Algaron or that crazy weirdo that was posing with no shirt on. That judge was all like smiling and stuff. You'll probably see that they all like, yo, we're going to find this dude guilty. You understand that? This we got to do. You'll probably see communications with the White House. Yeah, you'll probably find that. And that also goes for Alvin Bragg. Also for Fat Fanny. And, of course, Jack in the Box. You'll probably find that they all was communicating with somebody at the DOJ, at the White House. That's what you'll probably find. But let's continue.
You remember that lawsuit going to trial and the Trump organization being found liable, having to owe now at this point, because of interest, about $500 million in penalty. So it appears that this...
Boy, it would be hilarious if she would have stumbled and fell down those steps, destroyed the whole steps. I would have laughed into the... you know what? I might have not even waited to see if she was okay to laugh. You know, sometimes you see somebody fall and you're like, oh, shoot, well, let me see it. Or they're getting up. Okay, it's safe to laugh. It's safe to laugh. But if she would have went down in the midst of trying to throw a heart, fall, big nose, go right between those hands. Oh, man, I would have had a field day on that one. But here she is. She's trying to act brave, y'all. I'm not worried. I'm not worried. Here, there's love out there for you all.
This is a pursuit to figure out if there was any criminality in the investigation moving forward to that lawsuit. So we're still trying to work out all the details of this, but we also understand that is another subpoena in relation to James suing the NRA, if you remember, the National Rifle Association, which was also found liable after the lawsuit her office files. Now, we know that James is a big adversary of Trump, and we know that Trump has a history of going after people who have gone against him. He's...
No. Now, you notice he's going after people who's gone against him. You see how this chick just worded that? She should be saying Bigfoot went after Trump. Trump didn't pick a fight with this chick. He was minding his business while she was on the campaign trail talking about how she was going to stick it to him. But now Trump got a history of going after people who went after him. This woman campaigned on going after Trump, but yet she's making it seem like Trump's the one that retaliates for no reason. If he retaliates and they throw her big butt in jail, that is justice. That is not retaliation just for, I'm mad because somebody went after me. No, it is you abuse your power. You were vindictive. You were vicious, malicious. I mean, the way she talked about him, the way she said his name, everything she did let me know that this woman hated Trump and it was personal. And now here the CNN lady thing, he has a history of going after people.
Spoken out many times against James herself during the time of that trial.
Yeah, and he shouldn't have. I guess he should have just let Godzilla just go ahead and scratch and bite and slander his name and make him be quiet and all of this. I bet he should have just did that, right? As he knew that these were bogus charges, and we all did too. But y'all wanted him to go through that mess, like with grace, humility, go ahead and abuse me, to violate my rights, take all my properties, take my money, make up lies about me, and I'll just sit here quietly and let it happen. That's the problem. He spoke up against this corrupt DA. But here thought he was very upset when she
and
was...
even most recently. So this is something, of course, that we're going to continue to follow. But that is the latest news that we're getting right now, again, from Mark Harris Canal.
Good. Power is kind of everything.
Man, there she is right here, y'all. Watch how she tries to go ahead and say that the fact that she falsified some information about some property. Hey, that's nothing. It's nothing. I'm not worried about it. But she's going to get it.
Thing. And all of that due process is kind of yada, yada, yada. But if you wanted to get a judgment about someone, you could. Okay. And what do you say to that in terms of what the facts actually bore out about the way that Donald Trump, particularly in his company, was conducting its business?
So his investigation, he exaggerated. Let me emphasize that. Exaggerated the value of his assets to the tune of millions and millions, and was able to secure favorable insurance and interest rates.
Oh my. I'm detecting some hypocrisy. Now, wait a minute. Bigfoot, Godzilla, Kangles. You're telling me that that very sophisticated bank just fell for it? Yes, my property is worth, let me pick a number. $1 trillion. Oh, really? Okay, well, great. I'll write that down. Your proof for $17 trillion because your property's worth $1 trillion. You say, right? Now, you wouldn't be lying to us or exaggerating, would you, Trump? No. You mind if we take a look at that and do our own estimate? No. Yeah, I can't let you do that. Well, okay, fine. We'll trust you. That's what happened. Yeah, the poor old bank didn't do no follow-up. They just trusted Trump. Now, we all know that's a lie. The bank themselves said, we didn't have a problem with it. We all negotiated, came to something, and we would do business with him again. But now here she is, trying to still hold on to that lie, as she's guilty of the same thing.
As opposed to, and I'm sure Chris will probably get to this, they're claiming that I engaged in mortgage fraud.
What?
That I somehow decided that I was a resident of Virginia, which would be some commute every morning to the office of 28 Liberty.
Multiple times, though, see. Multiple signatures. It wasn't one time, oops, I messed up on that one. Can I have another one? Can you rip that one up and print another one so I can sign it? Multiple times she lied. Then said her and her papa was husband and wife. Yeah, that's what she did. And she knows she's in trouble. And so she's coming out. This guy has given her a platform to try to come out and get ahead of this. And of course, blame Trump because he's evil and mean and stuff.
That somehow, I should be held to the same standard as Donald Trump.
But see, that's the problem. You think you shouldn't. Because you're a hypocrite and you're corrupt. Somehow I should be held to the same standard as Donald Trump. No, you should be held to the same standard as the law when it comes down to that type of fraud. But Donald Trump didn't do that type of fraud. See, that's the difference. And yet you're trying to tell us somehow your signature got on there and you're supposed to be the top DA. You're supposed to know all the ins and outs because you just went ahead and tried to sue Donald Trump as if you did know all the ins and outs when it comes down to property and the mortgages and business deals. You went after him like you knew all about how to negotiate and will and deal and stuff, and had the right to say, yeah, I'm going to judge you for the wonderful deal that you came up with that bank. And now, all of a sudden, she's trying to pretend that there's nothing, it was a clerical error.
But somehow, what I did was basically similar to what Donald Trump engaged in. And there's just no comparison. The allegation.
Yeah, yours was worse. There's absolutely no comparison. Yours was way, way worse. Because Trump didn't do nothing.
Against me are totally baseless.
Baseless. Those signatures on those papers are baseless. Now, you see this? You see how the dirty Dems, the dirty, devilish Dems, this chick got the nerve, after having her signature on multiple pieces of paper, say those are baseless, baseless. And you say it with conviction, and then you back it up with a little bit of racism, accusations of racism. Here we go.
And again, it was based on a 2-year investigation of his assets. And
no, 2-year witch hunt, falsification, yeah, a show, a production, and 2 years of coordinating with Democrats, probably the DOJ and the judge. 2 years of that to come up with that raggedy conviction.
And that judgment was issued by a Supreme Court justice, and there was an argument before the First Department Appellate Division, and we are awaiting a decision. I will respond to these baseless allegations at the appropriate time.
Yeah, but not now, though, because I don't want to incriminate myself right now. Right now, this is just PR. Right now, I'm just coming out and just going, I'm going to just keep saying it. Spaceless, spaceless. I guess it's spaceless then. She keeps saying it.
In the appropriate way, but I am 100% confident that it will not result in any criminal indictment or action against me, and that it is nothing more than a revenge tour, and that Donald Trump just ultimately got to the J's, and I was
a great.
So y'all see that? Now that's a dirty dim for you. She's one of the dirtiest. I would love nothing more than to see them go ahead and track down that big fat Godzilla right there, throw a net on her, and drag her into somebody's cage. We'll love it. But woo, look at this one. Oh, yeah. Now the ratchet rocket done took off, and as quick as she took off, she done crashed. The raggedy rocket done crashed. So this is her back when she was all humble and stuff and didn't have all the glamour makeup, and she looked funny back then. Actually, look at her.
Background as relates to my ability.
What's up with those crooked eyebrows? You telling me you can't put eyebrows on right? What are you doing? I mean, I can alter mine, but at rest, they're even. She's sitting there like this. What's up with that? But I won't even harp on it. With your Prince outfit right there. Let's see what she was saying back then when she was just coming into Congress, y'all.
Need to deal with numbers, and it was gonna pay well. So I was like, I'll be an accountant. Unfortunately, around my junior year, I was the victim of a hate crime or two. Crime.
Oh God. Junior year, a hate crime or two. How many of us black folks get that? You hit the hate crime lottery. Victim of a hate crime or two. Which ones? What happened? Were there any convictions? Any follow-up? I want to know the details of these hate crimes. Unbelievable. But as a Democrat, you got to have a backstory. So yeah, she was a victim. So let's see what this hate crime or two, caused her to do. This is what inspired her, y'all, according to her when she was just coming in.
And so were a group of my friends, all at the same time. Cars were keyed with the N-word. We received hate mail.
By you guys? Cars were keyed with the N-word? All right, girl, come on now, put this on here. Then we'll go ahead and somebody keyed our car and put the N-word on it. Oh, Lord, the Klan is up here on this campus. The Klan is here.
In our on-campus mailboxes. And at that time, my school...
On campus. So you're telling me, now I'm older than her. You're telling me during this time, these folks, these racists on that campus somehow, put that much effort They were following y'all to the mailbox. They're like, it's not just good enough to do the cars, okay? We're going to track these black girls back to their dorms, and we're going to put the N-words on their mailboxes and stuff like that. I'm calling BS on her so-called hate crimes, because that right there is commission, that somebody was committed. That right there is dedication. You didn't stop at the car. You went to the crib. Oh, no, we're going to do the mailboxes tonight, guys.
Hired the Cochran firm.
Okay,
and there was a lawyer who graduated from the University of Houston who was assigned to me. And it was the first time in my life that I felt helpless. And I was like, I want to help people that are going through what I've just experienced. And at that point in time, I decided that I was going to sit for the LSAT. I did.
Now, wait a minute. Let's check that story. Let's bounce that story off of the, the old Jasmine Ratchet before she became, the darling of the Democrat Party. And let's see if that story still stays the same.
Little Shop of Horrors. When I was in college at Rhodes in Memphis, I ended up doing Little Shop of Horrors.
What part did you play in that?
I was one of the women that was singing.
Okay. You probably was the plant with no makeup, no costume, with those eyelashes. Feed me, Seymour. I just put the lashes on. That be the big plant. Feed me, Seymour. So now here she is, guys. Somehow the story is changing. Now she's sitting there talking about she was an actress.
Okay.
Yes, I was in the chorus.
Okay.
Look at the attitude. See the arrogance? All of that has changed. She's no longer the small, quiet, this girl just want to help people and stuff like that. Now the ratchetness kicked in, the ratchet gene.
I ended up doing it, and the mock trial coach recruited me to do mock trial. And I was like, no. By this time, I decided I was going to be an accountant. What? Didn't want to do
It's not the same story we heard.
Still didn't want to talk to people. So then he goes, no, you should do mock trial. And I said, that's for the kids going to law school. Long story short, he recruits me. I do mock trial just my senior year. I become a national All-American. He says, you should go to law school. So I applied, got a full ride, and said, fine, if I don't like it, I'll quit.
That is the opposite of the story we heard before ratchet became extremely ratchet. Now look at these liars. The Dirty Dems, y'all. So now it was the Little Shop of Horror, and somebody said do mock trials, and you know what? You were good at that. You should be a lawyer. Okay. What happened to the hate crimes? What happened to I just felt so small, so helpless, and I just decided at that moment that I wanted to help people. But now all of a sudden, the Little Shop of Horror director told you to go ahead and do it, and you're like, okay. See how, and folks fall for this stuff. They fall for these people. I mean, even if you showed those two side to side to some raggedy Democrat voters, and you say, you realize that this woman is deceptive. You realize she's fake. You don't know who the real ratchet is. They both ratchet. Both of those. I mean, both of those clips we saw right there. That's ratchetness on both ends. It's just that the ratchetness has evolved. But she's lying to y'all. But yeah, we ain't done with ratchet.
Oh, how noble and sacrificial of her. Which is the real Jasmine Crockett, though? Well, the call for public service came and Jasmine answered.
She answered.
But back to that Atlantic profile, they saw something else in Crockett.
What?
A raging narcissism.
Go figure. A raging narcissism. Now, if you can't spot that on her, boy, I tell you, you need some full-blown bifocals. Everything about her character and personality screams out, I want the limelight. I'm a narcissist. Maybe she didn't make it in Hollywood after the Little Shop of Horror, show, and decided, you know what I'm gonna do? I'll just become a Democrat politician because they're actors too. I'll just out-act them and become flamboyant and outspoken and boisterous and loud and obnoxious, and then I'll get a lot of PR, and then I can finally live out my dream to be famous. But she don't realize she's not famous in a good way. She think they love her. And we're about to find out that she's not loved.
And for a woman who claims to be so tough, she has exceedingly thin skin. Ooh. They described her as highly conscious of her self-presentation.
Of course. I mean, that's all over her. Based on just the cake doing makeup and those long behind camel eyelashes, those snuffleupagus eyelashes. Hey, obvious. Every time got the long extension weaves all the time. Very obvious. Always want to jump up in the front. Always want to be loud. Over talking people. It's very obvious. She's like, give me the light. That's what she wants.
Crockett wore acrylic nails painted with the word resist and a set of heavy lashes over her brown eyes. The lock screen on her phone is a headshot of herself.
Oh my goodness. Conceited much? If you are messing around with somebody you just met and you look down and you see that guy on his screenshot on his like this, cut him loose. Same thing with a girl. If she on that mug like this, I'm going, why are you on the screen right there? You just like looking at yourself? All you're really doing is letting everybody know whose phone they stole. You big dodo bird. But nonetheless, here we go.
And Crockett apparently thinks she should be able to control to whom a journalist speaks when they're actually reporting a profile.
Yeah, because all of this attention has gone to her head now. She went from that little humble, even though she was still ratchet and lying, but she went from that demeanor and temperament to now she demanding stuff and she's boisterous and she thinks she could just shut things down. You see, this is what happens to these, because they're not really politicians. It's almost like you got to be an actor to be a Democrat. They're all about show, and all that other stuff. But she took the show too far. Now we're going to find out that even her own fellow actors and actresses, they don't like her.
4 days before this story was published, Crockett called me to express frustration that I'd reached out to so many House members without telling her first.
And I'm hoping that person said, so? They ain't gonna. Nah, you can't be calling people and asking folks about me. I'm the one that should be telling you who I am and what I'm about. I don't want you to get no second-hand, third-hand witnesses, okay? I don't want no references. So therefore, I could paint the picture of how I am, okay? Even though I pretty much do that through my appearance, my tone, my actions, my speech, my vocabulary, my attitude. I pretty much tell you that. I didn't have to go ahead and interview her to know she's like this.
She told me, shutting down the profile and revoking all permissions.
Jasmine Crockett at the center of a political twister. Again, the Congresswoman from Texas has made waves by mocking Republicans and also fighting with people inside of her own party. So you see the screen, dim darling or dim danger. A new profile on Jasmine Crockett paints her as a brash, self-promoting and image-obsessed, right down to her lock screen photo of her own face.
Ratchet, y'all. Ratchet as they come. Man, I'm going to tell you, no wonder she's single. No wonder she's single. Man, I bet you she think in her mind, though, I'm wanted by all. Man, I would love to be in her presence and she not know I'm Kev from Kevin's Corner. Because you already know she'd probably be wanting attention. She'd be sitting there like, you know what? I want him to look over here because I'm Jasmine Ratchet. And I might look at her just so I can go over and dog her. I knew he was going to look. Use those eyelashes. Come over to me like, are you? Yeah, I'm her. Ratchet? That's who you are? I'll be watching your ratchetness on TV. Did you just poke me in the eye with those eyelashes? Girl, you better back up. Dang on it and snip them. So, yeah, I would love to dog her. Psych, give her a false number. She probably thinks she's straight, like, oh man, I know I'm hot. I'm just waiting for the right man, okay? Boy, but she would be a mess to be involved with. A mess. She needs watch her mess around and get a white guy. Yeah, the most angriest black woman, they always go and end up with a white dude who's passive probably. Got red hair, pink slippers on, and telling him, go sit down and shut up while I go ahead and call everybody else a racist. Not you, honey. Not you. Not you.
After finding out the reporter had interviewed her colleague, she tried to pull the plug on the story. Some Democrats are comparing Crockett's combative style to arson.
She's made quite the splash, becoming one of the most outspoken members on the left and looks like a rising star within the Democratic Party.
So go ahead. I want to hear the rumors. I want to hear the rumors about her.
But Crockett's rocket to stardom also comes at a cost. This week, The Atlantic publishing a lengthy profile of the 44-year-old. There was a lot of focus on her desire to make controversial comments. The Atlantic writing, Crockett is testing out the coarser insult comedy style attacks that the GOP has embraced under Trump. The general idea being that the Republicans go low, the Democrats should meet them there.
Oh, shoot, that rocket done ran out of fuel. It looks like it's going back down.
But the article points out Crockett is still trying to shape her image and reportedly even tried to shut down this piece after the reporter involved reached out to multiple House members for their take on her. President Trump has certainly noticed what Crockett's been saying, making it clear that she could be the face of the party going forward. But pundits suggest that's not necessarily a recipe for success in Congress.
We've got a certain generation or class of lawmakers who have come in and they think being in Congress is about celebrity. It's about fame. I mean, these are people for whom the most dangerous place is to stand between them and a television camera.
Absolutely. Now, you think she's the only one? I mean, the squad is like that. Cory Booker is like that. The Democrat Party is like that. They are so fake and phony. No wonder they can't govern. Because they're not politicians. They're all actors and actresses. They're all jockeying for the next book deal, soundbite, things like that. So yeah, she's horrible. Here she is, 44-year-old woman out there still acting like she's, trying to become a TikToker.
Meanwhile,
because the Supreme Court has paved the way for half the stuff that we see that's going on. Listen, Donald Trump is a piece of shit. Okay, we know that.
No, that ratchet chick didn't say what I just heard her. She called the Don shite. Are you kidding me? No, wait a minute. A lot of her staff members think she's shite. That's the funny part about it. See, they also talked to people in Congress and they were like, we ain't really feeling her. That's why she can't win no leadership positions. And then folks on her own staff, which was predominantly black and gay, they all concluded that this chick is fake. They say she don't work on policies. She don't come into the office. She stay at the crib. When she come into the office, she's bullying them. She won't ride in just a regular human's car. Nah, rent me an Escalade and then come pick me up and open the door so I can get in. Be outside the car so I can floss. Any cameras out there? Any cameras out there before I come out though? Man, I would slam her big fat eyelashes in that door. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you was in already. Because I saw your eyelashes come through 6 minutes before you. So yeah, here she is out there saying stuff like that. And she thinks that's going to win over real voters. Not folks that's just entertained by her and so radical that they think this is cool. Now, you already know this chick ain't going to get nothing done in Congress. She has done nothing thus far and will never do anything because she's building her profile right now. All of this is I'm positioning Jasmine Ratchet for a career after all of this stuff because I don't like doing this stuff. I don't even show up to the office. I like showing up to cameras.
Yes, he is. He is. But in a functioning democracy,
here we go.
He still would not be able to get away with this.
Oh, really?
But he's been able to get away with this because the House
because it's a functioning democracy. Now, here comes the hypocrisy. There it is. Talking about democracy, which is hypocrisy, because you guys step on democracy constantly.
Republicans are complicit. He's been able to get away with this because Senate Republicans are complicit. But most importantly,
what?
The courts, especially the Supreme Court, is complicit. Yeah. And so I think one of the places that we have to start is we are absolutely, they are the highest court in the land, and they have no ethics guardrails. What? Now you go down to the lower courts.
Oh, you mean those the Eighth Circus courts and stuff like that, where you get all of these radical judges who are just, all right, I'm a Democrat radical protester and judge. I'm going to go ahead and... You talking about them? Folks who y'all have relationships with to do your dirty bidding versus the Supreme Court who actually make judgments most of the time on the law, the Constitution. So now here Ratchet is out there doing what Ratchet does. Ratchet. Here it is.
And they do. How much sense does that make? When we know that they're taking money, we have the paper trail.
Wait a minute. Does she have on a full bodysuit with holes in the knees? Am I witnessing her trying to contain those rolls in a full body jumpsuit? Because I can see the rolls right through there. Let me see the roll. So now she got her a full-blown bodysuit on with holes in the knees. I thought you do that with jeans. Not a full-blown cat suit that you should not be in. Dang on it. That's where she got the blazer over. She don't want nobody to see all of those rolls trying to get out of there.
And they refuse to put guardrails on themselves. So it's time for us to do it for them.
Oh, now you hear that? But yeah, she's about democracy. So now the Supreme Court is the enemy. They refuse to put guardrails on ourselves, so that we got to do it for them. What? Stack the court. Come up with false accusations against them. Do what Democrats do. That y'all always accuse Republicans of doing. That's why you're the dirty Dems. But wait, she ain't the only dirty one.
Someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body.
A what now?
Engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
Yeah, we just saw the real bad body in that bodysuit, trying to cover it up. I'm just gonna put a blazer over it. That right there, with that'll cover it up. So now, as she's talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene, who I saw in person, Marjorie Taylor Greene got pairs for calves. That chick be working out, man. She walked away. I'm looking at her calves, jealous. Wanted to go home and get on some donkey calf raises. I'm like, man, she gonna make me go home and be on some donkey calf raises right about now. But yeah, she had the nerve to say something about Marjorie Taylor Greene's body. And she used a bad derogatory statement like butch body. And the gay folks on her staff was offended. You know what she told them? Shut up. I mean, yeah, whatever.
Chairman, I make a motion to strike those words.
I don't think that's
Hold on.
part of
I'm trying to find clarification.
Y'all ready for some ratchetness?
Chairman, motion to
I
strike
had no
those
idea
words.
what you just said.
Ratchetness activate.
We're not gonna do this. Look, you guys earlier literally just
You just voted to do
Y'all did it first, so you don't
voted to do it.
Order.
I'm trying to get clarification.
Look at calm down. Calm down.
No, because this is what y'all do.
No. This is what y'all do. That's the real Ratchet coming out. Yeah, there it is. That's what earned her the nickname Jasmine Ratchet. And it just sounds so bad. Because the other people like, look, calm down. We know you're angry. We know they're emotional and all of that stuff. Just calm down. No, because this is what y'all do.
Hey, Miss Crockett, you're not recognized. Miss
I can't hear
Crockett.
you with your yelling.
Oh, but she's from this place right here, guys. Texas. We might be getting rid of one of the dirty Dems. These dirty Dems done tried to flee their responsibility when it comes down to redistricting. And so apparently now what's going to happen to them?
Are directed to send for all absentees whose attendance is not excused for the purposes of securing and maintaining their attendance under warranted arrest if necessary until further order of the House.
Oh, so now we got to go catch these suckers. They done all decided to bounce because they've been gerrymandering all of these years. And now, by redistricting, we might redistrict away the ratchet. We might read this. So here she is making a speech, y'all. Now, here's going to show why they hate her. They despise her. Look at this.
They understand that we have a Timu Hitler in the White House right now that thinks that he is going to become the dictator of the United States. Well,
See? I mean, it's amazing that you feel comfortable enough as a politician to call the president Hitler. It's amazing. I mean, you don't stop for 1 second as a so-called professional to think, how would this come across to Jews who voted for Trump? How would this come across to them? Here I am calling him Hitler, and you got Jews in New York, Jews in Texas, Jews all over the place voted for Trump, and I got the nerve to call him Hitler as if I don't understand the historical reference and how grandiose that comparison is. But she's ratchet. So ratchet don't care. That ratchetness runs all over that logic. All over that logic. It's like, man, logic be damned. Hitler.
I got another thing to tell you, sir.
Look at that.
The Democrats, no matter whether we're talking about the House Democrats, or whether we're talking about the governor from Illinois, the governor from California,
those crooked
or
governors?
whether we're talking about New York, or I can go through the states, and it's not just the governors. It is the state houses. It is the state senators.
Come on, Ratchet.
It is those congressional delegations that are saying, do what you got to do, and I will fight, and I will win, and I will earn my seat back to the people's house in D.C. I am here to tell you that time is up for playing in our faces. The Democrats are
Here we go. Now they're going into their preaching rhythm. Now, guys, you got to understand, Ratchet is so arrogant. Ratchet thinks that she's the closing act. Ratchet thinks that I'm about to drop this ratchetness out there and drop the mic afterwards.
not not going to stand for this any longer. We know that we are standing for the people. And so long as we stand for the people, I absolutely believe that people are going to stand for us. Their names. I appreciate it.
They didn't stand for y'all in this last election, did they? However, she got done. She thought she just finished it and she's closing it out, y'all. Yeah, because nobody speaks after Ratchet. Yeah, nobody speaks after Ratchet.
We're done.
We're done.
We're done.
Says who? Your ratchetness don't override other folks. What's wrong with you? You see how arrogant she is? We're done. We're done. And you wonder why her peers despise her. Look at her. No, we done.
Yes, we are. We done. That's what it says.
We were supposed to have Ron close, do the closing. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Sorry.
I would put my palm right on her face and push her face. Yeah. You go right on over there. Get blend into the crowd. Yeah, nice speech and all. A lot of emotions, a lot of preaching, and then thought she was gonna close it out. We done. Word. Probably sat back in a B-girl stance like, yeah. Oh wait, what are you doing? What? No, I'm the act. It's me. I want everybody to remember the last thing that happened. It came out of me. That's what she's about.
So when people say...
Here's another one. Here's another one, y'all. Look at this one. Look at this dirty dim.
Democratic socialist, right? And I'm curious what you think this means. I mean, do you like capitalism?
No, I have many critiques of capitalism.
Yeah, except for my mom, who makes millions of dollars. That I don't critique her money. That pays for my luxuries, and then when I go over there back home or wherever I'm at, and we got the bodyguards, and we're able to cancel out any type of... This guy right here, this is one of the worst things that ever happened to New York. I kid you not. Matter of fact, they would be better off with King Kong tearing up New York than this dude. King Kong ain't got nothing on this guy. Zoran the moron. He's going to tear up New York quicker than Kong, easily. No, matter of fact, add Zilla into Kong versus Zilla. Fighting and tearing up every building. Won't have nothing on Zoran the moron.
And in the same way that when we talk about defund the NYPD, the entirety of the push is defund the NYPD and refund all of these different social services and things that actually create safety.
You hear this type of stupidity? Man, I'm telling you, if this guy wins, I will lose all faith in New York citizens' common sense. If y'all can't see y'all being played by this guy right here, this guy's about to set New York up for a big fat lashing. So now you're gonna call all of those counselors into the subway where folks is in there crazy and homeless and out of their mind and cutting folks and pushing folks on the third rail. You're gonna call them in to deal with that? That's what I'm wondering. How about the youth up there that's robbing and shooting and stuff like that? You're gonna call them in? How about those crazy dudes who, for whatever reason, thought it would be funny to start punching women in the face? You know how offended I'd be if I was a woman who got socked in the eye and a counselor shows up? Hello, some guy just punched me in the face. Can I get the police here? He's standing over here. Now look, I know that you were looking for the police, but I'm here to try to help you get through this moment. Now, it's obvious this man right here is the victim. What? He just punched me in my face. Yes, but see, you don't understand. He's a minority, and he only did it because he was hungry and he was looking for food in your eyeball. And I want you to go over and apologize to him, okay, for not giving him food from your eyeball. That's the type of mess that you would get from this socialist / Marxist / communist. It's these cops fleeing, y'all. Dirty Dems.
Well, let's talk about your policies, your vision for this city. Here are some of the things you've proposed. Free buses, rent-stabilized housing, a $30 minimum wage, creation of city-owned grocery stores.
From your mom?
Creation of city-owned grocery stores.
But I'm not a communist. Yeah, I wonder if your mom moved to New York with all of her millions, would you hold her to that same standard? That's my question. Are you going to hold yourself to that same oh wait, your mom pays for your like nice fancy apartment and stuff? I mean, I just can't understand how this happened. This privileged dude who is trying to pretend that he can relate to all the suffering of the common people, and he's just looking out for them, who is really going to destroy New York. How can people fall for this? Man, I mean, this is like watching a movie where I'm going, are they going to really do that? Where you're mad at the movie, you see people in the movie about to do stupid stuff, and you're going, no, what did you do? Don't go in. Oh my God, who's the writer? Who's the writer? If they fall for this dude.
It's clear this Sunfresh at 31st and Prospect is struggling. This is the first section people see when they come in.
That's what socialism
There's barely
gets
any
you.
produce.
No
All the
produce.
corners and shelves around the store look the same way, empty. So
empty? So wait, that's how socialism looks and operates? But y'all gonna take a chance on that, New York? Y'all are going to beat the odds. Y'all gonna be like so many folks who think they're always better than the next man. Folks got proven historical data about what happens when you get hooked on crack. But what do? I think I'm gonna try some crack. I'm pretty sure I can stop whenever I want to. Forget all the other millions. Like, dude, I said the same thing. Yeah. So these folks right here, if they vote for him, y'all are voting for your own demise.
shoppers have been asking us, if the store isn't closing, then where's all the food?
A rotten smell comes through the door, and anywhere you turn, you
Rotten
see products
smell.
that need to be restocked.
Socialism, y'all. The Dirty Dems. And you got Elizabeth Warren coming out supporting him. You got Democrats now coming out and supporting him. Because, see, really, it's probably where they want to go with it anyway. They ain't got no policies. Socialism gives them control over everybody's lives, and they don't have to deal with that pesky voting and all of that stuff. So let's continue listening to Zoran and Moron.
No hot food or deli.
No hot
The city owns the Linwood Shopping Center. A nonprofit operates the grocery store. Public and private investments are in the millions of dollars for the center.
Now I wonder if they're paying those folks that's operating at the deli and the nonprofits and stuff. Are they paying them $30 an hour? See, you get what you pay for. My point is this: when you create a government social, those folks probably won't even show up to work. It's going to be like they are in Washington. I'm sitting at home selling groceries. Well, how's that possible? Well, you know what? COVID's been over 5. You know what? Come into work. I can't. Racism. That's what you're going to get. Unbelievable, man. Wow, look at all that free stuff he's offering. Corrupt Democrats, man. Look, city owned this and all that stuff. That sounds good. So
I can't believe that's happening. That's a terrible thing for our country, by the way. He's a communist. We're going to go to a communistic state. That's so bad for New York.
I'm telling you. I mean, in a sense, I'm trying to, in my mind, I'm thinking, how did he even get this far along? And people are projecting this guy to win. And I'm thinking to myself, maybe the regular folks, the common sense folks, they didn't come out to vote. Maybe they was like, oh, shoot, I forgot about that. In my mind, I'm doing everything I can to give New York the benefit of the doubt that they're going to step up at the last minute and vote against this dude. I'm really thinking like, okay, did only all college students come out to vote? What happened to the serious citizens in New York? Or they didn't know much about him? Did they think, oh, he's cute, he's young, he seems progressive and edgy? Let's vote for him. If they fall for this, man, now, especially now, because after he won, everybody's exposing this guy is a socialist. They're highlighting all of that. And if they still come out and vote for him, boy, you get what you deserve.
New York, New York.
What? New York?
After a big win in the Democratic mayoral primary, Zoran Mamdani emerged as the frontrunner for the general election in November.
And a new poll shows him with a commanding lead in that race, no matter who's on the ballot against him.
I'm scared. I'm scared, y'all. Just like this right here. Yep. There you go. Everybody in New York with common sense right now is probably like, I need to calm my nerves. I got the shakes.
Hey guys, so exactly, one of the biggest takeaways from this poll is that the Democratic nominee Zoran Mamdani is leading by double digits against the other 4 candidates in the race.
Wow.
The poll conducted by Zenith Research and Public Progress Solutions also did one-on-one matchups with Mamdani against Mayor Eric Adams and former Governor Andrew Cuomo. And as you can see, Mamdani continues to lead against each one of them.
How is this possible? Good grief, man. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm going to sit back and watch this. This is one of those elections that even though it ain't in my state, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to be interested. When in November, when they vote, I'm going to be sitting there like, oh, yeah. Like the football game is coming on or something. Oh, man, wait. It's 5 o'clock. Hey, I got to turn to the election, man. I want to see if Zoran the moron is actually going to win this thing. If these people who are going to vote for him, because then they'll be morons too. The morons who voted for Zoran the moron.
It's very clear in our poll that likely voters in New York City do not want either Andrew Cuomo or Eric Adams to be their mayor.
It is very clear that your voice don't want any base in it. That's what's very clear. And it's very clear that my voice don't want any base in it. It was all treble.
68% of respondents in our polls said that they would not consider even voting for Eric Adams. That number is 60% for Andrew Cuomo.
Less observant Jews or more Reform Jews were much more likely to support Mamdani, like over 50%, versus conservative and Orthodox, more likely to support Cuomo and Adams. And then younger Jews were actually one of Mamdani's strongest groups. That's Jews under the age of 45, gave him 67% of likely voters.
New York, he's going to tear that sucker up. He's going to tear it up. Listen to Kev from Kevin's Corner. Do yourself a solid and vote that dude out. As bad as the options are, none of those people are worse than that dude. And the crazy part about it, he got intel all over the internet telling everybody what he believes in and what he's going to do. See, the other Democrats, at least, they try to hide it. You know what I'm saying? They try to hide their socialism and stuff like that. This dude is straight up unapologetic. So we're going to see what happens. That right there is going to be a social experiment in the making if that guy wins. So we're about to get out of here because we got to go back to Texas for a second because we got to highlight how corrupt the Dems are. So watch this. See, so they all mad and stuff because the Republicans are finally playing the same game as the Democrats with the redistricting. But the Democrats done redistrict out. They like, man, we ain't got nowhere to grow. We've been, doing this mess so long here. Our threats are idle. So you doing it, we're going to do it too. Do we have any room to do? No, we're already redistrict out. Okay, this is bad. If they all redistrict, we may never win another election again. Bravo! This would be one of the greatest daggers in their heart. Trump would have single-handedly destroyed this raggedy behind party. Because he's bold enough to do things like this. No other president would have got in and said, you know what, let's do this. Why can't we do that? Let's do that. You know what, since they're doing this, let's play ball like they do. Yeah, all the advantages that they've been having these years that I've been scratching my dome saying, how in the world are these Democrats raising money? How are these Democrats winning elections? How are they? Oh, rigging it. All the illegal immigrants being counted in census, things like that. The gerrymandering. Oh, and don't forget that USAID. There was fun. And now they broke. Yeah, he's cutting all of this mess off. And we're going to strip them down. And we're going to find out that underneath all that makeup is an ugly chick. We're going to find out that under all the muscles, that guy been pumping roids or Synthol in his puffed up muscles. It's all fake. So let's continue here watching these Democrats try to save their own lives. Starting off with who?
We got to stop them in whatever ways they're trying to attack these people because they're standing.
Attack these people. See, you see what they say? Now here's Beto O'Rourke with their arms that be flapping all over the place. Remember that? We're gonna get those AR-19s off this. Yeah, that guy right there, the failed president candidate, who's a rich boy. And now he's pretty much bribing these Democrats. So now, you hear that? We're going to go ahead and we're going to save him from doing what, Beto?
Stop them in whatever ways they're trying to attack these people because they're...
Attack these people. You hear that? Translation, attack the Democrat politicians. There it is. But we can't say that. See, everything we put in place to give us power and the advantage is all self-serving. But when it is attacked or it is called out, then we can go ahead and project to say, you know what? No, y'all trying to attack them. It has nothing to do with us. We're defending all these illegal immigrants that's in the country illegally because you're attacking them. No, by getting them out of here, we're attacking you guys. Same thing when it comes down to redistricting. We ain't attacking no dang on voters. You ain't worried about them voters. Yeah, you're worried about your party's power.
Standing up for all of us.
So, as we mentioned, you're helping to cover the costs for these Democrats who fled. You did the same thing in 2021.
Yeah, and you should be arrested for that.
Over a voting bill. They ultimately returned and the bill was passed. Yet, at that time, you spent over $500,000. I mean, we could see a similar scenario this time around. Is it worth it?
Is it worth it? Let me work it.
Absolutely. You know, if we fail, the consolidation of authoritarian power in America will be nearly
authoritarian. Now, you know this is projection. We all know if Hillary would have won, or Biden or Kamala would have won again, do you understand what they'd have did to our country? They would have locked us down, especially every conservative on the internet. I mean, every conservative protester. I mean, it would be horrible what they would have done to us. If they could have got over the Trump hump, they would have implemented their diabolical, real true socialist totalitarian scheme on all of us. Probably make us get some more jabs for no reason. Just to do it as a social experiment. Let's make them get the jab. Well, don't they already have it? Yeah, but let's do it again. Let's see how stupid they are. See if they'll do it again.
Unstoppable. That means more masked, plainclothes federal agents without badges or warrants sweeping our fellow Americans up off the streets.
Now you see that? You see this fool? Because he's on CNN, he's able to get away with saying that. So now what is he doing? He's bringing up things that threaten the Democrats' power. Getting these illegal immigrants out of the country does not threaten them. It's threatening y'all power. So now what do? You get on there and lie. These federal agents going in and doing what to these? What American citizens?
That means more masked, plainclothes federal agents without badges or warrants sweeping our fellow Americans up off the streets.
Our fellow Americans. Did you catch it? Did you catch it? If you didn't, there it is. Fellow Americans. So for all those CNN watchers, that's what he just dropped that subliminal in your mind. What? Fellow Americans? Why is Trump using these Gestapos to go after us?
Sweeping our fellow Americans
Dirty Dems
up off the streets.
Really? Oh, what's this? ICE arrested over 200 illegal alien child you-know-what offenders in Houston area in the past 6 months. Those are our fellow Americans? Dirty Dems. Wow.
Our fellow Americans.
These people are sick. These people are sick.
They are.
It means more retribution and persecution and even violence for Trump's political opponents. And it also means that...
Where's that coming from? Retribution, political violence. He just basically, get it up, yes. He just basically described how the Democrats responded to Trump. Retribution, political violence, all of these things. These are dirty, evil hypocrites. Dirty Dems. No wonder you lost.
A Republican majority Congress with these 5 stolen seats, if we allow them...
Stolen! 5 stolen seats. But I smell some hypocrisy.
Succeed. We'll roll out the royal red carpet for a Trump third term. So this is literally for all the...
Now you got my attention. Third term. I'm liking what I'm hearing.
Marbles. We'll roll out the royal red carpet for a Trump third term.
That's a real thing that can happen?
Of course.
No person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice, and no person who has held the office of president or acted as president for more than 2 years of a term to which some other person was elected president shall be elected to the office of the president more than once.
But critically, there's this little noticed loophole in the way that the 22nd Amendment is written. Because the amendment says no president shall be elected to the presidency more than twice. But there are other ways to become president other than being elected president. One such way is you can be the vice president, and the president can step down or resign or be impeached, and you could ascend to the presidency that way. And technically you weren't elected president in that case.
Absolutely. You know what's funny? Now we know that's not going to happen. However, it would be funny just to see their reactions. We know Trump will be too old at that time. He'll probably be like, man, I'm done. But at the same time, boy, you want to talk about some everyday content from these people flipping out. Oh my goodness. It would be hilarious. So it's always floated out there just to drive them crazy. But wait, Beto's back.
And I just think it's super clear that Republicans care about power and nothing else.
Holy moly. That right there was the whole projector. Not the screen. He just threw the projector at us. He didn't even project it onto the screen. That type of projection that guy just used was the actual projector. Here, bang. Did you hit me with a projector? So we only care about power.
And for far too long, Democrats have cared about being right, coloring within the lines, rules, and power is always...
I'm joking on it. I'm choking on the hypocrisy and projection. Unbelievable. Yeah, but who is he on? He's on MSNBC. There it is. There you go. Dirty Dems.
It's been a secondary consideration. We need to absolutely flip that around and focus on power exclusively. It's why I'm encouraged by what I'm hearing.
Basically, do what y'all always been doing. Everything y'all have been doing or attempting to do was so you can have ultimate power. You hear this, fool? Packing the courts, getting rid of the filibuster, stuff like that. Colluding with big tech to shut down dissent, using lawfare, gerrymandering. Everything about them and everything they do is designed to eventually have complete control and power. Breaking our border, bringing these millions of illegal immigrants in here so that y'all can get more votes. Yeah, that's what this is. And this fool up here, he's one of the dirtiest.
By Governor Newsom in California, Governor Pritzker in Illinois, even Governor Hochul in New York. They're talking about seizing the initiative and redrawing their congressional boundaries to maximize Democratic Party advantage.
They're already maxed out, though. So, I mean, all of those threats are idle threats. They're maxed out already, you big fat hypocrite.
We got to fight fire with fire. We wish the refs were going to call the fouls, that there were going to be penalties for what they are doing right now, but the refs have left the arena.
Now you see Prince and tight knees, no base, who's leaving his job. You see Stoney Jackson over there with that, whatever color that is, fuchsia, I don't know what that is, baby blue. Get some man colors. I want to see some brown, black, navy blue, something like that. Out there in a very light colored suit and next to your buddy with the tight knees and no base. Yeah, I bet you the two peas in the pod. Now let's continue.
They're or corrupted.
Yeah, they're corrupted.
This out and to win. We got to be focused on it.
Here's how National Review said.
Oh, now let's hear from some of these great governors and stuff that Beto O'Rourke said are great. So here comes Roger Rabbit Teeth. Here comes Bucky Beaver. So let's hear it. Surprise eyes.
Said it was only 3 years ago that New York's Democratic legislature drew up a map so brazenly contemptuous of basic rules that govern a district's contiguousness that the state's Democrat-dominated Court of Appeals threw it out. The New York Times at the time called those maps comically contorted. That's their quote. So your state's highest court at the time, all the judges appointed by Democratic governors, they threw the maps out. So fair to say Democrats have done what they're now accusing Republicans of doing.
Absolutely. Yep, and they don't like it now that we are actually playing by those rules. And I'm glad we are. We need to do more. We need to be more aggressive. Right now, we got them on a run. We cannot let this party survive. I mean, this is one of them situations, like in the Old Testament, where God would say, go in and destroy the whole nation. Don't take anything. Don't bring no animals back. Don't leave nothing alive. Don't eat no fruit. Just tear it all up. Because it all represents evil, and if you leave one bit of it, it'll come back to bite you. That's what we need to do to the Democrat Party. We could never run the risk of these folks getting back in power. We need to make this party go extinct. There it is. So now watch her get on here and try to tell us it's different, though.
No, we follow the rules. We do it every 10 years. We base it on census.
But the court said you didn't follow the rules.
Well, we did follow the rules.
So the court was wrong?
Well, we...
Not about that, just because I'm saying it. Don't listen to the rules in the court, what they said. And just listen to me just saying that's not true. Because we did follow the rules. But the court said you didn't. Well, I'm saying I did.
We followed the rules. And we didn't intend to do this again until the 2032 elections. But because we're in a different situation altogether that demands that leaders stand up and say, I'm not going to let our democracy
Here we go.
be eroded away because there's a blatant power grab to maintain power in our nation's capital.
See, here it is. Oh, it's a blatant power grab and all. So if you know what didn't, play by those rules. It's those two front teeth. Front teeth shouldn't be that big. Now that right there breaks all the rules. When you can't close your mouth when you talk in between words, that's breaking the rules. That's who you need to be talking to, those two fronts. Yeah, it's all and the rules. Can you close your lips? So now let's finish listening to her lie through those two big fronts.
This is what I call a legal insurrection.
A legal
insurrection. Just let the rules stay the way they are. We'll do it the way we always have. Ooh. But here we have Texas, and now going to other states. J.D. Vance, why aren't you looking out for how to lower costs like you promised?
And they are scared to death of this because they know all of these Democrat states are already maxed out with their gerrymandering. And we have all the advantage. We got more Republican states, and if our Republican governors got testes, we get in this party. If we all do that, it's over. That would give us Kev's wonderful dream of having a supermajority. Y'all already know I dream of that all the time. I dream of a supermajority. Where Democrats can't stop nothing. They're sitting at that spades table just participating. No spades, no high cards, just low numbers. Complaining. That's what I want to see happen to them.
Instead, he's going like a lapdog around the country in different states saying, oh, can we pick up some here? Can we pick up some here? Because they know they're going to lose next year. That's the only...
No. That's not true. That's not true with your low approval ratings. That's y'all excuse to try to pretend that we're cheating because we know we're going to lose. Yeah, y'all want to convince your stupid viewers and supporters that they're only doing this because we got them on a run. No, y'all are only acting this way because we got y'all on a run.
Reason they're engaging this, and also might be a nice distraction from people asking.
Here we go.
All of a sudden, this happens when they refuse to release the Epstein files.
Epstein. I knew that was coming out. Anything right now that Trump does that hurts the Democrats, what they're gonna do to pivot and cover for their hypocrisy is say everything Trump is doing right now is to distract from the Epstein files. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm getting to the point where I don't care about those. I want all that information to come out, but because of the context that they're trying to imply that the files aren't coming out, it's starting to irk me, and I know it's irking Trump because they're trying to imply that he's covering something up because of himself, and I know that's not the case, and the longer that they don't come out and say, look, man, here is what Trump's relationship was with him. This when it ended. This is what Trump did to shut this dude down. He volunteered to go ahead and testify against this. So stop bringing it up. Stop bringing it up. Okay? So y'all are using that to distract away from you being a hypocrite. But we're going to end with the biggest hypocrite of all. Physically, he's the biggest one.
So
literally.
I, along with a lot of people in New York, are saying, what's that all about? Is this just another red herring? So no one's buying this. Just Texas.
No, nobody's buying what you're selling, Bucky.
Knock it off. We'll knock it off. And let's get back to governing. But you want to play these games? We're not going to sit on the sidelines. We're New Yorkers. We fight back.
Okay.
Shut up.
You mentioned
They're attempting.
Here he is. There he is. We're going to end with this guy right here. All right, so y'all ready for this rare moment where a liberal host actually calls out the hypocrisy of a Democrat?
Change the map. They know that they're going to lose.
There it is. Talking point. They know they're going to lose. That's why they're doing all of this, because we got them on the run. We got
26, the Congress, and so they're trying to steal seats.
Seats.
So that is what these Texas Democrats are trying to stand up against. And then don't forget, the map that they put together it violates the Voting Rights Act. It violates the Constitution.
That's what that does.
Thank God for these Texas House Democrats.
Thank God for them running away from their responsibilities and stuff like that. No, they're trying to avoid a shellacking. That's what they're doing. They're in the boxing ring right now and refuse to fight. They're running all around while the ref is going, get over here, get over here. Look, I'm going to deduct some points if you keep running. They don't want no smoke. So now, in a rare moment, watch this.
Well, Governor, it might be illegal. It's not unprecedented, though, or it might be rare, I should say. But Texas actually tried to redraw districts mid-decade before in 2003, and the U.S. Supreme Court actually upheld the map in that case with the exception of one district. So the argument that Abbott is making is it's not illegal, though they are doing it certainly in an off year.
Yeah, but y'all are just going to keep saying it. just because. Yeah, because you got to make it seem like we're doing all of this crazy stuff to stop it because it's illegal and they're stealing seats and all of this stuff, even though it's not illegal. And it definitely ain't illegal when y'all do it, though. Absolutely. It's different. It's different. The Democrat stands not only for dirty, deceptive, deceitful, but, the Democrat privilege. So here he goes, because she actually threw a kind of a tough thing at him.
I do want to look at the map of Illinois. Let's take a look at this. Despite President Trump winning 44% of the statewide vote in 2024, Republicans hold only 3 of Illinois' 17 districts.
The Dirty Dems on display. And I'm shocked that Christian Welker pointed this out. That's like that Dookie map. That's how blotched up that is. It's like that Dookie map out there in California with Gavin Newsom when you saw the brown spots. You saw the brown spots. That's where Dookie is. If you didn't know, the brown spots represents Dookie all over. So those you look at all of that right there. I wonder what big piano body having is gonna say.
These districts seem to be designed to maximize Democratic advantage. What do you say to those who argue that it's hypocritical for you to criticize Texas for partisanship when your state also drew maps to boost your party's standing?
I would say that's not true. Don't believe them. Believe me. It's different because we're saving democracy and they're trying to steal seats, and it's different because we're Democrats and we're upholding the law and righteousness.
Well, remember that what Texas is trying to do is
the same thing that we did because
and violate the Voting Rights Act. We didn't. We held public hearings, legislative hearings. People attended them. They spoke out. There was a map that was put out. There were actually changes made to the map, and a map was passed. And it was done at the end of the census, the decennial census.
Yeah, they probably had a lot of illegal immigrants counted in it. And y'all little committee and stuff probably was filled with radical Democrats, and the Republicans couldn't outvote you or stop you. And now we got the power. We've got the power. So now we might as well go ahead and do a little of that voting and redistricting too. See, there you go. Make it legit and official. All right, those that say yay, that say yay. Those that say nay, oh, they're not here. They're out. They ran. They split.
So that's how it's done in this country.
Sticking on your state's map, every major group that grades the fairness of congressional maps gives your state an F. Common Cause, a nonpartisan government watchdog, even says your map, and I'm going to quote, represents a nearly perfect model for everything that can go wrong with redistricting. And I guess the question is, you talk about preserving democracy. How do you preserve democracy if you're using the same tactics that you've criticized Texas Republicans?
By being a Democrat and a hypocrite. Because we don't care nothing about no democracy and stuff like that. Everything we've been doing is trying to subvert democracy by redistricting. There you go. And count illegals in the census and bringing more in. Bringing more in to do it. See, yeah, we don't trust the voters. We don't trust the American citizens. Yeah, they see through us. That's why our approval rating is so low. So we got to go ahead and rely on underhanded, dirty tactics like packing the court, getting rid of the filibuster, redistricting, gerrymandering, bringing illegal immigrants in, counting them in the census, making sure they can vote. We got to do stuff like that. But he ain't going to tell y'all that. Instead, watch him go ahead and give this most nonsensical, asinine statement or reply ever.
But as I say, what they're talking about is a distraction. The reality is...
Wait a minute. They weren't talking about it. She just asked you the question directly. What are you talking about? As I said, though, what they say is a distraction, not what I'm doing right now. I'm not trying to distract you by not answering the question directly and then going back and saying that they're the ones that's doing the distraction. As he launches his distraction.
That the violation of people's voting rights is what Texas is attempting to do. That's what's wrong with their efforts right now. And the fact that the president of the United States knows it and nevertheless is asking them to do it. That is what's wrong with what we're seeing right now.
Basically, that's what's wrong, because you know what? If it passes, it's going to hurt us. That's what's wrong with it. Yeah, it's going to shift the balance of power forever. That's what's wrong with it. But I'm not going to even address the fact that she just brought up what do you say to people who says, look at your dang on map? What's the difference between... The difference is they're Republicans, and by them doing this, it's going to hurt us. So I'm just going to sit back and not even respond to that. Not even answer it. I'm just going to pretend that what they're doing is just evil on, face value. They're Republicans. So their motive is always based in some type of evilness and, of course, some type of racism. Got to slide in the voting act and all that.
Right now, democracy is at stake. And these Texas Democrats are standing up to what the GOP is attempting to do, which is to steal seats because they know what they've done is wrong.
Go back to the talking points. She rattled him. It's like, oh, shoot, how am I going to answer this and not sound like a big, fat, literally fat hypocrite? This is a true big, fat hypocrite right here in front of us. And now go back to them. They're literally they're trying to steal seats and stuff.
Know that they've made an enormous mistake.
Wow. Not as serious as yours. I want to hit him with the bang. You've made a serious mistake. Not as serious as yours, I fear. Let's not stand on ceremony, fat man. There it is. He's not fat man, fat man. Let's not stand on ceremony, fat man. So anyway, there it is. That's the Dirty Dems. They will get right on TV, lie to your face. They don't care about being hypocritical. They don't care about none of that stuff. That man pivoted the heck out of all of that. And he knows he's just as guilty as he's claiming that the Republicans are. Yeah, see, Republicans can never do anything based on principle. They don't follow the laws. They're just doing it. They're breaking the laws. That the voter's right. It's racism. They're trying to disenfranchise black and brown people's votes and stuff like that. But yet they have gerrymandered so bad that they have little room to grow. And yet we have saved ours for last. Yeah, we can grow if we got Republicans who got some testes. That's the key. Yeah, we can't pass up this opportunity. Republican governors need to all be on one accord when it comes down to this. We got the more states than them. We can get this thing done and stick it to them. And I pray to God that this happens. Because I want to see these people implode just like the late night talk show host and all of these things, all of the wokeness, everything related and connected to the Democrats. I want to see it all just come down. We get back to the way the country was, where folks weren't walking around grieved and mad and yelling at folks saying, that person got a red hat, it's a Nazi. All of that stupid stuff. We could sit back and watch Archie Bunker and George Jefferson and laugh without talking about that's misappropriation, that's racism, we need that. Okay, I pray we can get back to that just for a little bit. Just for a little bit. Jeez. So God bless y'all. God bless America. I went way longer than I expected. Now I got to go ahead and try to force myself to go to sleep like a little kid. You ever seen little kids? They don't know how to go. You be like, close your eyes and go to sleep. They go. Thinking that's going to make them go to sleep. That's how I'm going to be. Go right in there like, squint my eyes real tight. Maybe I'll go to sleep like that. But first, I'm going to go down and eat some spaghetti and meatballs that I made last night. I'm starving. So just a quick FYI. I knew somebody was going to ask. Somebody said, no doggies. The 13th is the magic day that they get shaved down to the bone because they are so natted right now. I already gave the groomer the heads up. I said, I already know you're going to have to shave them down because they got cockabugs all over them. She's like, okay, just so you know, I don't want you coming here and getting mad. I'm like, what the heck is that? What'd you do with you gave me 2 rats? You gave me 2 rats back. I brought my dogs in. You give me 2 muskrats. There you go. I'm like, where's my dogs? So they're going to get shaved down pretty much. And it's all my fault, guys. So, yeah. But they will be presentable, I hope, after the 13th. We'll see. All right. So thanks for hanging out with me this morning. Make sure, please, don't forget, subscribe to my alternative channel. And please give my little short video some type of love. The one for 30 seconds, the parody about Sydney Sweeney, because like I said, they are definitely suppressing that video. I don't even think it cracked 1,000 views. That is unimaginable. A 30-second video with somebody who has almost 200,000 subscribers, and yet you're telling me that video didn't crack 1,000. unbelievable, YouTube. So I need y'all to help me jumpstart those algorithms and give them a black eye about checking it out. It don't take you 30 seconds, y'all. Only take you 30 seconds. Somebody said I watched it. Watch it again. All right, so thank you, though, for hanging out with me. I will be back tomorrow. Yeah, I'm about to dig into some sleep. I'm going to be sleeping violently. Be like, that's how I'm going to be sleeping violently. Y'all going to be like, man, is he jumping the pillows, punching the pillows while I'm sleeping? Violent sleep. That's what's about to go down. All right. Check y'all out tomorrow. God bless. Take care.